Hello, guys. Welcome back to the session number three of the series. Previously, we discussed how we can make our switches NO and NC a little bit smarter. We did this by pairing them up with process variables such as level, flow, temperature, and pressure. We also discussed as a subclass of such switching limit switch, which triggers only when the contact has been made. Now, this is the main topic of today's session, and we are going to discuss this in detail. We are going to discuss the types, construction, wiring, and application of limit switches. So, without further ado, let us begin. The first thing is the definition. So, limit switch is a contact-based sensor that signals only when the objects make physical contact with it. Now, that contact has to be specific to an area, which in this case is the arm of the limit switch. This guy right here. In this particular example, the arm length is adjustable. All you have to do is loosen the screw, move it to your desired length, and tighten it back again. However, in other cases, this is not the case. For example, in roller type limit switch, you have a fixed arm length. In other cases, you don't even have an arm. This is a plunger type limit switch, which has a push button sort of thing at the top. Now, when an object makes contact with this button, it is going to trigger a signal. In other scenarios, such as electronic circuitry, the size matters a lot, and this limit switch is known as micro limit switch. Another difference that you can find immediately is that in these three limit switches, 1, 2, and 3, the contacts are internal. To expose those contacts, we have to remove this set of screw, remove the cover, make the connection, and put it back again in order to secure those connections. In the case of micro switches, because there is not enough space internally, the connections are external, so that wire can be soldered externally directly onto the terminal. Now let us see the working of the limit switch. A limit switch works such that the box or the object, right, it makes contact with the arm of the limit switch. The arm is in normal position initially, but as soon as the object makes contact with it, it moves the arm across an angle to its forced or actuated. Now internally, you can see that we have two contacts, two switches. It can be only one, but in our case, we have an NC as well as and no, right? So under normal condition, if we apply a power across the 1 and 3 wire, the power signal will be received here, right, across both of these terminals. Under normal condition, you can receive power from the wire number 2 because it is NC, and you cannot receive power from wire number 4 because the contact is broken. However, when the object is detected and it goes into the flow state, the roles are now reversed. The NO becomes FC and the NC becomes FO. So the power dynamics now reverses, and you can see from the signal from wire number 4 and not from the wire number 2. Similar is the case with this micro switch. You apply the power signal on the common terminal and you receive the signal either from NC or NO depending on your application. Now let us discuss some of the application of limit switch. The primary application that you are going to find in whole of the industries is the safety and the limit checks. For example, you will find that the limit switches are used for elevator stopping and elevator positioning. They decides the position and the stoppage of the elevator. They can also be mounted on elevator doors to see that there is no person or the door is properly shut before the operation of the limit switch. They can also be mounted on the machinery which are doing critical operations such as cutting to verify that the operator does not accidentally enter the machine. They can also be used for positioning. For example, in this case, the limit switches allow the box to be positioned at A or B depending on the requirement. In this case, the limit switch allows the detection of the object. It can check whether the object is present If the object is present, it is going to give a signal because the position is not normal, it is in the actuated position. And if we pair this signal up with the industrial counter, we can have the number of boxes that have passed across this limit switch. So it can be used for storage management or warehouse management. Another important application of limit switch is that it can monitor abnormality as well. If you have long conveyors, uh, then those conveyors are bound to move outside of their original position. So in this case, we install a specialized case of limit switches, which are known as belt alignment sensor. Right? If the belt tries to move on the left side, it is going to trigger this limit switch, and this in fact is going to actuate a piston, which is going to push the belt back to its original position. Similarly, if the position goes out from this side, there must be another actuator on the other side that will do the same. So these are some of the applications that you are going to find in an industrial environment. That's it for today. In the next session, we are going to discuss the proximity switches and their working. Thank you, and see you guys again. Goodbye.